Hi everyone, welcome to this video. This is Vedika Bhosale from Vivekananda Academy of Human Excellence, class 10. So today I am going to explain you the very important and interesting topic, that is human digestive system. So without wasting any time, let's start. As we can see on the screen, it is human digestive system. In our humans, human digestive system is really much complex. It is 30 feet long, means it is 9 meter long in adults. So we take food in our mouth, means mouth is the first organ which contributes in the digestion, human digestive system. So mouth is connected to another pipe-like structure called as esophagus. Esophagus is 20 centimeter long tube. It is connected to another J-like structure known as stomach. Stomach is connected to the another coil-like structure called as small intestine. Small intestine is connected to the last structure known as large intestine. Large intestine is connected to the rectum, and rectum is connected to the anus. From our waste material is get released. In this way our food travels in a common path. So we take in the food in our mouth, then it passes from the esophagus, then it comes in the stomach, then it passes in the small intestine, then large intestine, then in rectum, and it is released from our anus. So there are some exterior organs from where the food is not get passed, but they put their secretion for the digestion. For example, liver, gallbladder, pancreas. These are some important exterior organs. So our food travels in the common path. So that common path from where our food is passing is known as alimentary canal. So First we take in the food, then it comes in our mouth. From mouth it goes to esophagus. From esophagus it goes to the stomach. From the stomach it goes to the small intestine. From the small intestine it goes to large intestine. From the large intestine it goes to rectum, and from the rectum it goes to anus, and from anus it releases our waste material. In this way our food is passed in the common way. It is known as also alimentary canal. So before understanding and learning the working of the human digestive system, let's understand some human digestive glands which are present in our organs. So first gland is salivary gland, which is present in our mouth. So it contains saliva which secretes salivary amylase, which is an enzyme. Next is liver. Liver is excretory organ. It secretes greenish yellow bile. Next is gallbladder. It secretes bile juice. One thing, the liver which produces the bile is temporarily stored in the gallbladder. So gallbladder is temporary storage house of the bile juice. So whenever there is need of the bile juice from the gallbladder, it passes through the bile duct into the small intestine for the digestion. So next is pancreas, which is located behind our stomach. It also secretes three enzymes. First is pancreatic amylase, second is trypsin, and third is lipase. Next is our gastric gland, which is present in our stomach. So it also secretes three enzymes. First is pepsin, second is HCl, and third is mucus. HCl means hydrochloric acid. So next let's start working of human digestive system. So as we know that the digestion in amoeba takes place in the 5 steps. Same as the digestion of the amoeba, human digestion also occurs in the 5 steps. First is ingestion, second is digestion, third is absorption, fourth is assimilation, and fifth is egestion. From our waste material get released. So let's understand one by one step. The first step is ingestion. Understanding the egestion is really very much simple. It is a process in which we take in the food into our mouth. It is just an intake of the food. Next is our digestion. Digestion process or digestion step is important step. So digestion is a process in which the food taken in is broken down into the smaller and smaller molecules or globules by which our body can derive energy from it. Our digestion occurs in the 3 parts or in the 3 organs. First is mouth, then is stomach, and third is small intestine. So let's understand how our digestion occurs in these three organs. So let's start with digestion in our mouth. So digestion in our mouth, we take the food in our mouth. Let's take one example like chapati. It is of big size, we cannot eat it in one time, so we take it in our mouth, and in the mouth food or chapati is made in the form by which it can passes through the esophagus. So our mouth contains three parts or three organs, which is teeth, second is tongue, and third is salivary gland. So now what is it doing? It cuts the food into the small pieces. Then for salivary gland, the food which we eat, means we have taken the example of chapati. It is in a dry state. Okay. So what is the salivary gland doing? It make it wet. Next is tongue. What is the tongue doing? It helps in the mixing of the food and swallowing of the food. So most important thing here, our mouth contains salivary amylase, which is an enzyme. We know that our mouth contains salivary gland, which contains saliva, which secretes salivary amylase, which is an enzyme. The food which we have eaten, it is large, okay, means it is complex item. So what is the salivary amylase doing? It broke it into the smaller compound. For example, it converts starch into the maltose. We know that the starch is a complex item. Our body cannot derive energy directly from it. So what is this salivary amylase doing? It breaks it into the simple compound called as maltose. So now food will pass through the esophagus, because mouth is connected to the esophagus or food pipe. While traveling through the esophagus, it will produce a peristaltic movement. Now what is this peristaltic movement? It is nothing but the contraction and relaxation of our muscle by swallowing of the food, as we can see in the picture also, that when we take in the food, our muscles of the esophagus get contract and then relax when we swallow the food. Not only in our esophagus, but in also small intestine, stomach, large intestine, peristaltic movement occur. So now let's start the digestion in stomach. So there is tubular gland present in our stomach, which is gastric juice. When our food will come in stomach, it will react with this gastric juice. In its gastric juice secretes three enzymes. First is pepsin, second is HCl, means hydrochloric acid, and third is mucus. Now what is this pepsin doing? It digests the proteins. And next is hydrochloric acid. What does hydrochloric acid do? It kills the germs inside our stomach, as well as it makes the pepsin active. It makes the pepsin active means pepsin is acidic medium to digest the protein. So this our HCl provides acidic medium to the pepsin for the digestion of the proteins. So in this way our protein is digested. Next, that is our mucus. So HCl is very harmful acid. It can burn our skin. So how is it present in our stomach? So it is for the making the pepsin active, and for protection of our stomach, mucus is present. So what is this mucus doing? It protects our stomach from the action of HCl, means hydrochloric acid. Now our some partially digested food will move into the small intestine. So let's start digestion in the small intestine. So we know that small intestine is the site of complete digestion. So let's come to some exterior organs, which is pancreas, which contain pancreatic juice, which secretes three enzymes. First is pancreatic amylase, second is trypsin, and third is lipase. So what is now this pancreatic amylase do? It digests the starch. Trypsin digests the proteins into amino acid, and at last lipase digests the emulsifying fat. What is the meaning of emulsifying fats? The fats which we eat, it is large in size. Okay, means they are large globules, or it is large molecule. So what does this lipase do? It break it into the smaller and smaller fats. So this process is only known as emulsification of the fat. So next exterior organ is liver. It secretes bile. So what is bile doing now? Bile provides alkaline medium to the pancreatic amylase, so that it can digest the starch, and it also helps in the breakdown of the complicated molecules of the fats into the smaller globules, so it can be digested further by the other enzymes. There are some other glands present on the wall of the small intestine. So these small means these other enzymes also put their secretion for the digestion of the food. In this way, our food is get completely digested in our stomach. The food which we have eaten, now it is broken into the smaller and smaller compounds. Like protein is converted into amino acid, carbohydrate is converted into glucose, and fat are converted into the fatty acid. Now our body can directly derive energy from the small substances, simple substances like amino acid, glucose, fatty acid. So for moving, now we have get the simple substances. So now we have to circulate in our whole body. So next step is our absorption. It is nothing but the simple substance which we have got like amino acid, glucose, fatty acid, glycerol is get circulated in our body for deriving energy. So now let's come to the wall of the small intestine. The wall of the small intestine contains finger-like structure. Finger-like structure, as we can see in the picture also, called as villi. Villi contain blood vessel. If we will see the single villi, it contains the blood vessel. Blood circulated through our whole body. We know that. So villi contains small holes on their body. So that the simple substance can go inside through it and get mixed with the blood, and mixed with the blood it will move to the whole body, means it will get circulated in our whole body. In this way our absorption step get completed. So next step is assimilation. Assimilation is the movement of digested food into the cell of the body where they are used. The liver is important in the assimilation. For example, it converts the glucose into the glycogen. What is the glycogen? It is nothing but a carbohydrate used for storage, and amino acid into the protein. Liver is also involved in the process of elimination. This is the removal of the nitrogen containing part of the amino acid to form urea. In this way, our assimilation process also get completed. So next, our last step is ingestion. What is now ingestion? It is also simple. It is nothing but removal of the waste material from our body. Let's now come to the small intestine. What is small intestine doing? It absorbs the most of the water in the content of the gut. By the time content reaches the end of the small intestine, most of the digested food has also been absorbed. So there are some waste material like water, bacteria, cells, undigested food that remain. So now what is there? Where are they going? So the colon is the first part of the large intestine. It absorbs the most of the remaining water. This leaves a semi-solid waste material known as feces. The feces are stored in the rectum. So what is rectum? It is nothing but the storage house of the waste material called as feces. The last part of the large intestine. So now what is the process of ingestion? When this process happens? Ingestion happens when the feces passes out of our body. Means our unwanted food which our body cannot derive energy or cannot break down it into a simpler substance is get removed from our anus. In this way our human digestive system get completed. So thank you everyone for watching this video.